Hi everyone, welcome to the ninth part of the Julia TicTacToe tutorial. In this video, we'll be adding input scrubbing, which basically takes the input, checks if it's valid. If it is, it'll use the input, otherwise it'll just ask for input again. So let's start by writing a function. I'll call it generalized input. Um, this function we'll only use this function for making choices, such as like difficulty choice or play again, or maybe a single player versus multiplayer, that kind of choice. Otherwise, for the coordinates choice, like in which cell to make a move, we'll write another function because we also need to check if it's in the array. So first things first, we want to be able to print something before we input, right? Before we get the input, right? We want to prompt, right? So let's say prompt, uh, and sometimes you want it to be in the same line, sometimes you don't want it to be in the same line, so we call it same line, right? That'll be a boolean, it'll be either true or false. So yeah, now if it's in the same line, it'll print and it'll ask for input on the same line. Otherwise, yeah. The other one is choices, basically all the choices that the user has at that point. And the other one is number of parameters. Param, params. Okay. So, uh, right. So first of all, we want to print the prompt, right? Based on if it's in the same line or not. Same line? Question mark. Well then, if it's on the same line, what you want to do is just print and the print the prompt. Otherwise, what you want to do, I'm writing this in a ternary operator. Uh, Print line and then prompt, right? Yeah. Otherwise, print line prompt, right? Okay. So now we want to check if the user has entered something in the choice, right? So let's just get a text, the text that he input, that the user input. We'll say split of read line, right? Split of read line. So that way we get, we get an array of all the parameters uh, that the user input, right? So now first thing we want to check if the text that the user input is exit, right? If it's exit, then what you want to do is you want to just exit the program, right? This will be useful later. Like if you want to ever exit, we just type exit and it lets us exit, right? So if you want to exit, we just exit. Otherwise, what we want to do is we want to check if the number of params is valid, right? So if params, if length, right? So we want length of the text. So uh, if the number of parameters required and the parameters the user provided are the same, then what you want to do is you also want to check if the mm, yeah, does this make sense? So we want to check if the text, the parameter that the user input is in a choice, if it's a possible choice, right? So we want to check if, let's say, the first element, right? That could be yes. Let's say for replaying the game, that could be yes, right? The first parameter is yes. So if, okay, and is in choices, then what you want to do is return that text, right? So it'll return an array of whatever the user input. Otherwise, if it's not valid, what it will do is it'll call itself recursively. So if the input is invalid, it'll keep calling itself again and again. And so if it's invalid, it'll just keep asking for valid input again. So that's why we're calling it recursively with the same parameters. Uh, I think we should also print something before asking for input again, like something like invalid input. Uh, I'll just say, yeah, I'll just put in, please enter a valid command. Uh, yeah. Now let's use this generalized input function, right? Hey, over here what are we doing? Let's see, in diff level difficulty. Okay, so you want generalized input for this, right? Generalized input. um Actually, you know what, yeah, this is a better idea. Yeah, so difficulty will be this, uh same line. Well, yes, so true. The choices, what do we have? The choices are loser. So the choices are loser, there's easy, there's medium, hard, and then impossible. Oh, missed a comma. And the parameters that we want is just one. We just have one parameter, right? Okay. So another thing is it's going to return an array. So we just say one, right? Because we want the first thing that the user entered. This should work. We'll just test it real quick now. Okay. So let's say loser. Oh, look at that. See, I entered something wrong. Okay. Okay. Look at that. It works. Uh, so now that that works, let's try it with something like medium. Okay, that works. So our input function works now, and it's asking for input. It makes sure that it gets the correct input, and yeah. So now we want to check if now we want to check now we want to make an input scrubber for the position in which the user wants to you know we want to write an input scrubber for the position in which a user wants to make a move, right? So we'll have the same thing. Okay, prompt, same line. It's gonna be on the same line, obviously. The choices, well, we don't really have any choices, do we? And params, obviously. Okay, we'll need params, and yeah, okay. So this is what our function look like. We're gonna take in this. This is not needed. This is not needed. This is not needed. Okay, yeah, exit. Otherwise, params, and yeah. So text one in 1:3. Text two in 1:3. I think I have to collect 1:3. And obviously these need to be strings, right? String dot. Okay, does that make sense? So if the length of the text is equal to params, and the text one is in string of correct of 1:3, and text two should be string of correct of 1:3. So basically it should be between 1 and 3. The thing is, read line actually reads in text. It reads in strings, not numbers. So that's why we need to make it a string. Um, Otherwise, we'll say okay, okay, yeah, this should work, I think. Uh, yeah, let's actually implement this. Let's make move. Okay. Mm, so instead of this, we'll have move input for enter, and we'll have two params, right? So that's gonna be a text equals this. Okay. Now this should work too. Let's look at this. Say loser 1 1. But it's not printing. Oh yeah, because I forgot to print line. uh, for prompt. Does that work? Yeah, yeah. Okay. So we're done with that. And now we just need to make this look better. So we'll do that in the next video. Our input scrubbing is done. We'll add some final touches in the next video. For well, these final touches are only for a single player. After that, we'll be adding multiplayer. Um, uh, it's not going to be too long until we're done with this. Okay, so as always, the code that we wrote today in this part will be linked in the description. The final code that we'll have at the end of the series will also be linked in the description. Any additional references that you might find helpful will also be in the description. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.